It sucks so bad that I cannot be bothered to use any other word. It sucks bad, 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 bad. Where are you trying to improve your service? LDV Australia? I'm talking to you. LDV D90 ownership in Australia at 5,000 kilometers on the clock. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Dimitri and this is MG Owners Australia, and today I wanted to chat to my LDV owners across Australia, people who are specifically owners of large SUVs such as LDV D90 or who are considering to buy one, how the car makes me feel still or at this stage. So if it's useful for you, please stick around, like the video while you're at it. And another topic that I want to talk to you about is generally how LDV Australia handling its customer base. And by that, what I mean by that is the amount of communication that I've been receiving from them lately. I'm not going to call it spam because I'm a targeted, I suppose, customer. It's not really spam. That is not a fully unsolicited message, I suppose. But there are still some thoughts that I have about the manner of their communication and the amount of questionnaires that they're sending to me. So this is going to be the second topic of this video. Probably unsurprisingly, I will still make a point that the car is massive, and for people who have large families or the need to transform the back of the car into a kinda minivan type of thing for camping purposes or transportation of anything large, such as, I don't know, building materials, some boxes, I don't know, you name it, this car is gold, you know. It's just, I still cannot imagine anything being better in this price category that doesn't look like a complete van, because vans have a specific image to them. Well, I guess they look like people movers, but they make you look like a taxi that drives people to the airport. And not everyone, let's be honest, not everyone wants to look that way. I absolutely don't judge people who own LDV vans, far from it. I'm just making it explicit, clear before you come at me. My brother owns one. My brother loves his LDV van, you know, and he has a large family. He has 3 kids and God knows how many domesticated animals as well. But not everyone wants to drive a van. And if you want large space for the family, like I said, luggage, whatever else you have there, and you want to be a bit more, I'm gonna apologize to my brother later for this statement, but if you want to look a bit cooler on the road and have an SUV look as opposed to the van look, this car is gold. This car, for this price category of about, what, $37,000 probably, that you can get a new one right now in Australia, as long as you don't mind waiting for the delivery timelines. I cannot imagine anything being better than this. Quality of the car, the build of the car, over time, I've driven around Sydney and interstate kind of a little bit in this car already. I still think that quality is solid. It certainly is not, let's put it very bluntly and simply, it's not worse than anything that's done by other brands, including your Toyotas, your especially European cars, something like Volkswagen and other kind of things. It is not worse. And I know it's not maybe an outward massive compliment when a person talks about a car like this, but at least I'm honest with you and at least I'm baselining it for you. It's not worse. Somebody who will tell you China made, whatever, it will fall apart, it won't. It doesn't look like it will. I know 5,000 kilometers is not 200,000 kilometers, but in all honesty, if you are someone who will drive the car to that extent, to 200,000 kilometers, you probably need a further research. But I can just tell you about the vector of it. And by vector, I mean you start owning a car, you use it every day, you drive in it a lot, stuff will start creaking. And you will start seeing the cheapness of the plastic that would start being scratched or whatnot. I am very clear with you, my friends. No one pays me for this opinion. Nothing is scratched, nothing. And I am using the car all the time. I'm a good, careful driver, and I kind of take care of the interior of the car. But it's not like I'm sitting here with a nice wet cloth and, you know, polishing this car before filming or just for my own good. I'm not. The car is in day-to-day use and it's great. So if this is helpful for you, please take it for what it is. But do your own research. I always encourage people to do their own research because, you know, your mileage and your usage of the vehicle obviously will vary. So to summarize this, quality of the interior and exterior, as well as the space that you're getting for this kind of money, unbeatable. unbeatable. Plus, as I already mentioned, arguably on top of that, SUV look makes the car look more acceptable, cooler, and generally better for private use than a van, full-on van would be. So these are probably the topmost best qualities of LDV D90 to own an LDV D90 versus anything else in Australia, that I would say. Now, on to things that are disappointing, and if I remember something that's particularly also impressive or exciting, I will come back to it. My apologies in advance. So let's talk about the not impressive stuff. I can't imagine that you watched my previous videos about where I complained about infotainment and lacking power, at least in a petrol model. This is a petrol two-wheel drive model. This is not a diesel four-wheel drive. Diesel four-wheel drive probably most likely will feel very, very different. Petrol two-wheel drive definitely feels like it's lacking power, and it's just that. It's not a racing car. Is it offensively lacking power? No. But can you feel that it's lacking power even when the car is not loaded? Yes, you can. Do not expect it to be a powerhouse. This is not a Jeep Wrangler. This is not a, 3.7 liter engine. This is none of that. This is none of that. It is not that type of car. It's sluggish. The car is sluggish. However, once you've gained speed, and as long as you're not going full-on uphill on a highway or something, but once you've gained speed, the car maintains that speed, and its mass helps it be very solid, very kind of, I'm going to loosely use the word respectable on the road. I like how it feels on the road. So that's a positive. That's a positive. Mixed in with a bit of negative, where the engine itself definitely is a bit lackluster. Let's put it very, very simply. Petrol consumption, average towards high. Average towards high. I've checked in already with you in my previous videos in terms of how petrol consumption is and what it kind of roughly costs us to run this car around Sydney. And obviously with air conditioning, it is a bit more of a petrol consumption. But it is nothing outlandish. And when you look at just how massive this car is, you also realistically do not expect it to consume any less. I'll be honest. You just don't. I heard my people in the comments who said to me regarding the petrol consumption and regarding the power, the lacking power, people said just switch it into sport mode and run it in sport mode. I tried and I didn't like it. I didn't like how the engine sounds. I didn't like how, I'm going to use the word try hard. It sort of feels try hard because it's not like sport mode suddenly increased the capacity of my engine, did it? So I tried it, and it didn't make much of a difference. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments down below, although how can I be wrong? This is my experience versus your experience. We all have our own experiences. But I can tell you that all these modes, basically, turning it into another point, all these modes, eco mode, sport mode, kind of don't matter. They don't matter to me. I think it's a gimmick. I don't think that they add anything to this. I really don't. Another thing that I don't like is the automatic stop-start system that is allegedly something that's supposed to save you on petrol, but please watch other videos that are made much better than my own, such as from the auto expert John Cadogan. I'm a long-term subscriber and a fan of John's, even though he hates LDV. That's on John. That's his own problem, okay? But from my perspective, John has had a very good video a while ago where he was explaining really well that ultimately you're not saving any particular petrol in traffic unless you let the car idle for prolonged periods of time, like 5 minutes. And that doesn't happen at the street light, does it? So this auto stop-start system, it would have been bearable if it was optional. And by optional, I mean if I could turn it on or could turn it off and keep it that way, most importantly. Here, thank God, I can turn it off. But what annoys me tremendously is that when the car starts, every single time this system is on, just like another annoying thing, which is the radio in MG cars and in LDV cars, because they all belong to SAIC Motor Group, and I imagine that that must be just a philosophy of these China-made cars, which has nothing to do with the quality of the vehicle, but it has something to do with the philosophy of how they wire these cars with electronics and how they make them. I absolutely hate that the radio doesn't stay switched off. I hate it when the car starts, And I strongly dislike, maybe not hate is a strong word, I strongly dislike that the auto engine stop-start system is automatically on every time. So I get into the car, I turn on the car, and I have to press one button to turn off immediately the auto stop-start system, and have to mute the radio just to be left in silence and enjoy my drive. Hate it. Another thing that we're not going to spend a lot of time on, because I spoke about this many times in previous videos, please check out my channel in case you need it. Infotainment system sucks. It sucks so bad that I cannot be bothered to use any other word. It sucks bad. And there is no friendly horizon in sight where, you know, it would be clear to me that it's about to be updated to something better. So the communication from LDV Australia that almost asks for compliments from me, sending me these endless surveys. How is your experience, Dimitri? Would you like to recommend our car? Blah, blah, blah. This is all massaging of their egos while they give us nothing. The service centers are located very inconveniently around Sydney. I try to book this car into service right now at one of the service centers, and their online system says someone will get back to you very quickly. No one got back to me already for over a day. Okay? I understand you'll say, oh, Dmitry, what do you expect? They must be busy. I don't care. I'm a customer. I don't care. Get back to me. Book me for later if you can't fit me in right now. It's just one tiny example. Yet they bombard me with these annoying, kind of self-praising in a way, like, tell us how good we are. We're trying to improve our service. Where? Where are you trying to improve your service? LDV Australia? I'm talking to you. I do not see any improvement. All you want is a little bit of a praise from me all the time. Or at the very least, I apologize, at the very least, that's how your questionnaires come across to me. So if you are an LDV owner or MG owner, and by the way, I was an MG owner for a long time and we still have a ZST, and I don't get that spam from MG. Let's be very clear. I don't get spam from MG. I get spam from LDV, who really obviously trying to get a share of the market, but by doing the wrong things. Improve your cars, LDV. Roll out better software updates. Work with us as customers, or me as a community member, I suppose. I don't expect any preferential treatment, but I want something useful from you before I give you more of my time even, right? I know I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about those questionnaires, but I think that this emotional, but hopefully not coming across too negative, it's just honesty, right? Feedback is all I actually want to say to you about those comms that I'm receiving from LDV. They annoy me. I bothered to fill it out once. They continue bombarding me with them. I'm not going to lie to you, probably once a month. Once a month I'm getting some stupid questionnaire from LDV talking to me about how wonderful, like, you know, my experience supposedly is supposed to be, you know. Anyway, that's how it makes me feel. Considering that I'm disappointed with the infotainment, this massive screen here staring me in the face every time I get into the car and start the engine, and there is no use of it. None. No use. Maybe if you're an iPhone user, and maybe if Apple Carplay connectivity is here better. I cannot test it, cannot check it, cannot confirm or deny it because I don't have an iPhone. But as an Android user, as millions of other people out there, right? And probably, speaking of which, I would speculate that if I am in the price category of buying this kind of car, most likely I'm also with a cheaper phone. Maybe. I'm not saying that I have to be, but maybe. So I'm definitely not some, you know, person who is buying a Prado for 90 grand and has the latest iPhone. I have an Android phone. So you, LDV Australia, miscalculated what your customer base needs in this car. That is the problem. Do you understand that that is the problem? Anyway, my friends, hopefully you found this entertaining and this didn't come as aggro. It came across as an emotional but honest response from me and just topic for you for discussion to chip in the comments down below. Let's chat to each other. I love talking to you. And these are my thoughts at around 5,000 kilometers ownership of this LDV D90. I still think that the car is massive value for money. Before anything wrong goes with it, and nothing has been wrong so far, but the brand presence in Australia, the service centers, all of that kind of stuff sucks. It sucks, okay? And I would love for it to change as an owner. Obviously, I'm interested in it changing. And if by some unknown virtue, someone who is related to MG Australia or LDV Australia, Psych Motor Group, watches this video, I'll get referred to it somewhere. Talk to me if you want any further information in a slightly more constructive kind of way, and please take it for what it is. While you're at it, subscribe for more, like the video so more people like it. Thanks for watching. Talk to you next time. Bye for now.